Hi guys, welcome to another video and welcome to the Blagdon Estate in South East Northumberland. Now today I've come here on a quest to photograph the last of the autumn colours really. I feel like autumn's been really brief this year. I think we had a good week of it being perhaps at the best it was going to be, which unfortunately was before it's prime really, but a load of wind came through, ripped the leaves off. I think really it's just what always happens, but you know, there is a bit of colour still hanging around. And there's still a lot of evidence of autumn, so I'm pretty confident I'm going to get some for today, but I'm going to be concentrating more on small details, I think, sort of near macro photos, really close-up details. And in order to achieve my shoot today, I've actually got a new tripod to try out, which I'm hoping could be the perfect tripod for my macro photography. But anyway, I'm going to jump straight into a shot because I actually just stumbled across this scene. So I'm going to swing you round. Now, hoping you can see these two leaves which are conveniently fallen onto this background of green moss, totally unstaged. And if you look at my tripod setup, I'm just using a little Benro carbon fibre travel tripod, which, you know, is all right for this sort of thing. You get a little bit of height. It'll take a little bit of weight in these sort of conditions, but the problem with it is it doesn't drop down really low. Now I've set the camera to focus bracketing. It's just run through a sequence of 40 shots. I won't use all 40 shots, but what we'll do is I'll use the ones with the optimum focus point. So the nearest point in focus, the first point away in focus, choose all of those images and then stack them all together and put them on the screen for you now. Right, so after a little bit of floor gazing, I've managed to find my next subject, which I think it's basically a very little small seed or nut just here, which you won't be able to see because it's that small, and this means I need to get really low to it. Now the problem is if I use this tripod like this, pointing down, even at its low setting, my macro lens, I'm pretty much probably going to be looking at near 1-to-1 reproduction here, maybe 1-to-2. So I'm going to need to be a lot closer to it, probably at the minimum focus and distance of my macro lens perhaps, or just slightly up from it. And the reality is this is not going to go low enough. Now I could probably do something like that and start doing a convoluted method to get to it, which does work. It's a bit of a faff on them. However, I may have an answer, because the nice people at K&F, Kent Faith, I've sent me this little mini tripod to try out. Now, I'm going to put the model number up on the screen now, and also the specifications of the sort of the load it will hold, minimum and maximum height. And a full disclaimer, they have sent me this for free. I do get to keep it at the end. But to be honest, I want to try it because it's good. If I can get lower and still keep my camera nice and sturdy, that would work really nicely. Now, what I've been using... Now, up until recently, I've been using this little thing, which does let me get really low. You know, it's sort of really low tabletop tripod. However, you're very limited. That basically your legs are like that, and that's all you can do. And you've got your little ball head, which is all right, but it doesn't take a really heavy load. This is a proper little ball head on it, so I'm very impressed with how good this ball head is. And as you can see, the legs adjust so we can get really low, which, okay, it's not as low as that, even though it's not a million miles away. But of course what you can do is, because of the leg mechanism, you can sort of get different angles going, so sort of like that. And I've had it running sort of like that, so then you can get really low. So yeah, you have a bit more faffing on with it, but ultimately it's a lot more flexible, and it has this added advantage of letting me be able to do this, which means you can get a little bit of height on it, like so. Now if we look at that compared to that, open is not far off the same distance, which is actually quite incredible. So you can have I'm not sure how long this mechanism is going to last, I'll be honest. I'm hoping. Time will tell, really. But you can have a tripod that's that small, or extend up to basically the same size as this one, which is great, isn't it? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to faff on a little bit, get set up, get myself into place, then talk you through the shot. So today I'm using the Panasonic S5 IIX with a new lens for me, one I've never used before, which is the 100mm f2.8 Panasonic, which is crazy small. Now if you compare this to the Sigma 105 macro I was using before, this is just so much smaller, so much lighter, so much more convenient. So I'm trying to get an idea of how close I actually need to be. So you can see actually quite low. So I'm going to get this into place. Now, this means I'm not going to be extending the legs fully. And I'm intrigued to know how well this system works. Because it seems you pull all the legs out in one go. So that's great when you're at full height. But when you only want to do a little bit. I do have my reservations on that mechanism, but I'm sure it's been tested. And I do generally find Kemp-Faith stuff really good, so I don't think there'll be any problems, but you know, time will tell. It's quite a chaotic little scene, to be honest, which I quite like about it. Now, I am going to have a little bit of a moan about this little tripod, and I'm going to lift it up so you can actually see it. So at the bottom here there's a little bubble so you can see if the tripod's level. Great, brilliant idea. However, the bubble's quite big, and what this means is when you drop it down like this, you can't quite get, well, you probably can, but it would be nice if it wasn't quite so big. You'd be able to tip the lens down even more at a slight angle and get sort of further underneath the tripod leg. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to compensate by lifting this back leg up so I can bring it back straight. Not the end of the world, but a minor niggle. But I'm hoping you can see that screen okay. Basically, there's the little nut seed thing, and we've got these lovely leaves which are all sort of in a state of decay, swirling around. Just a nice little detail of autumn, really. I'm going to gain focus stack, starting off up here, probably shoot at f18, going through until the point where everything else is out of focus, and that will be it. So I'll start here, starting focus, working gradually backwards, getting as much in focus as required, and when it's all merged together, stitched together, I'll put it up on the screen for you. So I think I might have found another couple of shots. So I think these will probably be the last two shots of the day. I'll swing you around to show the first one. So I'm thinking these little leaves here, I'm not sure where you can see them, but the colours are beautiful. If I can get the angle on it, I think that will be quite nice. And then finally, these ferns, because I think the ferns, not sure which batch yet, but they're going a lovely colour. So I think it's 2 shots here. I think I'm going to start off with the leaves on the leaf, because the colours are gorgeous on that one, so I think that'd be really nice. So I think I'm going to crack on with the 2 leaves on the rustic leaf first of all. And I think I can get away without stacking these 2 shots. I think they can be just nice, straightforward shots. So yeah, I'll crack on with that one. Right, I'm having to be really careful here, because basically, because the leaves are on top, falling on a patch of ferns, if I stand on another patch of ferns, the whole lot's moving, so it's a bit of a nightmare. So I'm hoping this little tripod will sort me out. What I will say about this tripod is it's surprisingly heavy. It's definitely not lightweight, but I suppose really that's a good thing. You don't want a tripod that's too light, because you know what happens, they just have a tendency of falling over. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that as soon as I put this into the ferns, if I pull it back out, I may actually end up moving my leaves. So it's quite a tricky shot, this one. And I'm also not sure if I'm actually going to be high enough. But really, there is only one way to find out. See what I mean? I think the height will be fine. Actually. Okay. I may still be tempted to focus stack. Actually, as you can see, the tripods. I've got a bit of movement on that tripod, which is worrying me slightly. So I'm going to poke it in the ground a little bit better. I think if anything, I would actually benefit from being a touch higher. And I'm also shooting straight down on it, and it's at a slight angle. So if I can come back a bit more. I'm shooting a sequence of 40 shots at a step of +5, which may be a bit too much. Well, I'm an F9, so I think that'll be right. I'm just going to let that roll through. Put the shot up on the screen for you, and while you're looking at that shot, I'll get that one framed up. Right, so I'm hoping that shot came out okay. You would have hopefully just seen it. Now, as much as I like this little tripod, I don't think I'm going to risk it for this next shot, so I think I'm going to switch to the tripod that's actually you're on. So before I put it away for the day, just a quick talk about construction. Construction's really nice of it. As I say, I've got a nagging feeling about this mechanism. I'm hoping it's totally unfounded, because, you know, it's sturdy, it works fine, but I don't know, I have this feeling it may not stand the test of time. But it would be unfair for me to be negative about it, to be honest, because I haven't used it long enough. So, you know, just carry on watching the videos and you'll find out if it does stand the test of time. But it definitely takes the weight, so that's a good sign. And, you know, it's nice rigid legs. So I may well just be worrying about nothing, to be honest. Everything else, though, about it is absolutely fantastic. And even if this mechanism did give way, you know, to be honest, the fact that you can have it so low like this for me, that's pretty much going to give me the ability to do one-to-one reproduction of something underneath on the plane like that. So that's wonderful. As I say, the center column goes up and down. The ball head's nice and sturdy. It's holding that camera lens combination. No struggles at all. Absolutely no bother at all in the slightest. So for the money, I think brilliant value for money. Great little tripod. And it will be replacing the little table tripod I've been using, and I'll just carry on using this. So yeah, hopefully my worries about the legs are well founded. As I say, my main niggle, perhaps this here. Can you see? It's sticking out. It's a shame that's not flat and the bubble's not somewhere else, or the bubble's not quite so big. But I understand it's the only way you could design it really. But I'm sort of just picking its hairs. Anyway guys, if this sort of thing really interests you, if you look in the description of this video, there's actually a link to it, and there's also a discount code which I think gives you a 17% discount if you use it. I'll put that on the screen for you now, what the discount code is, and that gives you a discount of whatever K&F is selling on the website. So 70% discount, that's quite a decent discount I've managed to get you guys there. So yeah, could help somebody out. Anyway, I'm going to swap you over. In fact, I'll use this one to record me. I'll swap you over, and I'm going to get framed up for the last shot. And that's it guys, quite a pleasant morning out shooting at the Blagdon Estate. Think we've got some nice shots. If nothing else, it's been nice to be outside as per usual. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And next time, I'm going to be in the city. So yeah, see you there. Thanks for watching.